think that Merlin is probably better than Potion Master overall, but realistically, I think Potion Master can be pretty good. Certainly, if you hat ball, he's going to be a lot better than Merlin. But even without it, you can usually do okay. Alright. It's a pretty decent mix of heroes. No skip or anything that's going to be terribly far ahead. Peter Pan's will be pretty problematic if we get him early on. I think I'm actually just going to take the... I might actually just take the chicken here. This leaves us open for the option of finding an evil or a good, and then the spell to pair with it. Gives us a little bit more flexibility there. So in this case, it doesn't look like we found one, but I am going to go ahead and use Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. And I think I'm actually going to grab this Mad Mim here as well, and I'm going to lock for this Polywoggle. Especially since we already have the Mad Mim, I think Polywoggle is going to be pretty good here. We're not particularly strong. We might do okay against Peter Pants, depending upon what he's actually got. If he's leading on something like a donkey, we'll do okay here. Looks like he's got an early adventure, and he was able to use the Candy Rain on the Mad Mim, so we do end up losing this instead of tying, but that's alright. So these aren't super exciting. Ideally, we would have had a targeted spell here. I think what we're going to do is actually shrink this. I'm going to pick up this Happy Little Tree and this Rainbow Unicorn, and we're going to lock. The Rainbow Unicorn obviously being much stronger than the Happy Little Tree here, but functionally these are about the same. I'm going to put this in the back to see if we can get the Mad Mim to attack, assuming that the ones in the front are both dead. This should maximize the amount of units that we have. I don't want to pick up the Polywoggle here because we would rather hit a 4-drop with that, and we want this to grow a little bit if we can. Loki doing Loki things. We've run into some of the tougher opponents in the lobby early on, which is not ideal for us here. We're going to go ahead and pick this up. I don't mind Sleeping Princess, but with Earthquake up front, it's not particularly strong in this spot. I am going to take the Earthquake, and then I think just fill out the board with some units here. And I think we'll arrange it like so. Ideally, this Polywoggle attacks and slays. Both of these are able to trade up, and then if they have a dragon, we want the 2s to be in the back here. But hopefully with the Earthquake, we're going to be strong enough to be able to, at the very least, not take a ton of damage here. And then hopefully we can find a targeted spell. It's kind of one of the problems with Potion Master. We haven't quite seen one yet, and we're not really in the position where we can be rolling yet. Alright, perfect. So that turned into a Court Wizard. It's a pretty early Court Wizard here if we can pick up any Prince or Princesses. We do have a targeted spell. I think I'm actually going to use it on this. Having a big ranged unit is actually not terrible here. And I think we can actually pick up this Sleeping Princess with the plan of trying to possibly do this next turn. We might need this Fanny here to be supporting this Tweedledee. Let's see here. So if we put the Sleeping Princess in the front, that may be better off. I'm not really sold on these fannies actually being good here. So I think we're going to do that, and then we'll roll. I don't necessarily want to lock for the second one. It's not that I find it to be bad, it's just we really would like a spell to be able to wake it up. Do just fine here. Court Wizard obviously being very strong in this instance. I do want to try and pick up some more stuff like the Prince and Princesses here. So I'm going to grab that and I think I'll roll. The pig is okay. I think we're a little weak yet to be picking up pigs. So I think I'd like to roll one more time, try and find a targeted spell. Unfortunately, we didn't find one. We did find the end, which is nice, but not exactly what we're looking for in this particular spot. I do want to pick this up because it does flip our Lonely Frog here. Gets us a little closer to a triple, and I think that 3-drop triples giving Hat or Ball are not too bad, especially on Potion Master. What does this look like? Is this good? I think this is alright. I think we are going to give up on this. We really need to be able to hit a targeted spell on one of these two. And we're going to be going into 4, so I think we can just hold off on EXP a little bit this game. Not typically what I would recommend, but there are certainly worse things that we could be doing here. Alright, excellent. So Court Wizard's able to carry us there so we don't take additional damage. Alright, we'll take a triple here. I don't mind treasure map here. I think we will pick up this extra frog. Definitely think that it's better than the Labyrinth Minotaur. And then I would like to roll. So an additional Court Wizard is pretty good. I think I'd like to have this Prince Arthur right away. And then next turn we could potentially pick up the Court Wizard, possibly even the Friendly Spirit. So I think we're going to use the... let's see, so if we do the Shrink spell, we can sell these 3. This might be out. Or this. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to use this, and then we're going to sell 1, 2, 3, and we're going to buy this, and we're going to lock for this Court Wizard. And then we may pick up the Friendly Spirit. I certainly want the Court Wizard, however. The reason that we wanted to pick up Arthur there is that it does get a little bit of buff onto a Sleeping Princess. Which is important here, I think. Perfect attack. So now our Court Wizard's going to get an extra shot off. Alright, so this combat should go quite well for us here, and it did. Ideally, if we can find another Court Wizard and get a tier 6 treasure, that would be nice. So I'm going to take this. I actually don't think we need this Friendly Spirit. There's not really anywhere for it to go, given what we've already got. And I would really like to wake up this Sleeping Princess. Getting an extra 16 attack on this would be quite valuable here. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's quite it either. Are we in the market to that end now and go to 5? Let's see, if we switch this out, what does this look like? Possibly even this. I mean, giving up on the blind mouse. Yeah, I think so. Getting to tier 5 next turn will be pretty valuable. We could pick up Lancelot or something along those lines. They weren't exactly the ideal rolls. Obviously, we've been pretty unlucky with our Potion Master so far. I think it's going to still be okay. We probably won't take a ton of damage from this. Okay. So we'll see where this hits. That's good for us. So we're actually going to be fine here. Perfect. So that's one of the benefits of having actual units in the backline as opposed to supports. Once we got to the backline, his units really were not doing anything, whereas our units were still able to put up a reasonable fight there. So we did hit 5. The Wombats is reasonable tempo, however, I'm not sure if that's what we need here. I think I'd like to roll. So we'll pick up the Lucky Coin. Lucky Coin's pretty good. Certainly don't need another one of these. There is some consideration for the Fairy Godmother, however, we would have to cut this, which makes this a lot weaker since it's not flipped yet. About the same. Cupid is pretty good. I really think that we need to wake this up or we're going to have a hard time this round. I think we're going to roll a little bit and try and do that. Yeah, alright. I think we'll grab this. I'm not sure if we're going to flip this Lonely Prince or not. We probably will, but for now, I didn't want to run out of time. We should be okay here. Court Wizards, again, are going to be able to carry us a bit. Alright, perfect. At least we've gotten pretty deep in without taking a whole lot of extra damage. So this will give us a chance at a 4. I do think I'm going to take it here. Obviously, I would have rather had a 6, but I think it's alright. I'm going to go ahead and grab Hidden Cash. I do like Hidden Cash with the Court Wizards. Typically, these will be alive towards the end. The fail case on it is that we get extra gold, which really isn't so bad. So this would give us 1 extra 5, or sorry, 1 6 and a 5. I don't think that's really where we want to be. I'm going to go ahead and roll. We'll roll again. We'll take the golden chicken here. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Don't really want to use Earthquake. Don't really want to use this, but I am on this. This is a 418 cat, which is pretty large. Which might end up being more useful than this Mad Mem, and then we can pick up the chicken pair. Maybe do something like this. What this is going to allow is that we will have a pretty thick front row here, because ideally we would want this to attack Never, and same with these other two. We would want them to take the hit. The Mummy is going to be pretty bad for us here, I think. Yeah, that's not ideal. Yeah, this certainly could be going a lot better for us, I think. Shoot over here. Yeah, that was a little rough. I would really like to find just any single, regular, boring old targeted spell. I think we're going to take this to pull it out of the pool. And then I'm going to go ahead and roll. I'll go ahead and roll again. One more time. Alright, we'll take a chicken. Get tier 2 treasure. We're not really slaying, so I'll take the Ring of Regeneration to try and kind of stem some of the bleeding here a little bit. We could True Love's Kiss, but that really, again, doesn't solve exactly the problem that we have here. This is good, but only targets evil. Finally. Alright, so now this is substantially larger than it was before. We could also take the Lancelot, though he is a bit small. I think I'd rather roll. I think now... I think we'll cast this Lightning Bolt here, and we'll hold the chicken for turn 6. Once we actually can start seeing some 6-drops. I feel like we're probably pretty weak here. But hopefully these can do some good work. Certainly doing good work for our opponent here. Alright, well, he lives. So do we. Alright, so we are on tier 6. So let's not take the Pumpkin King given what we've already got. I will take this. Fool's Gold's pretty bad for us. Coin is okay, which I think is certainly going to be the choice. It's better than Reduplicator since obviously we're not summoning any additional minions. I actually think I'm going to pick up this pair, given that we already have the Golden Arthur. Go ahead and roll. Soltak is pretty good to protect the Court Wizards. I'm not sure if we're in a position where we can afford to take the Soltak here, given that it doesn't have any stats on its own. So I think I'm going to roll. I am going to go ahead and take the Hugify on this here. And I am going to put these in like something like this, I think. We are not in an ideal spot, but this does give these the most amount of chances to attack. And they have a pretty good chance of getting buffed with the coin. This Sarcophagus is really bad for us here, especially if it hits this a few times. You shoot over here. Okay. That's unfortunate. It ends up in a draw. That's alright. Okay. So we could use the Queen's Grace, which would give us a tier 2 treasure. I think I'd rather hold off and just roll for right now. This is a pretty good unit with these. I'd like to see if we could find something like a Good Boy. A little expensive. Pick this up. Another Arthur would give these all +2/+2. That is interesting. I think we'll pick it up over that for now. So this is going to give us nothing. And roll. Awesome. We'll go ahead and pick up the Cupid kind of right at the end there. Positioning was not ideal. This should have been here for sure. That was good for us, but we are a bit behind in this particular combat. Not sure what's inside his pumpkin, just a book, okay. Alright, we're going to take a lot of damage here. We may actually be dead. Sort of depends on where some of our units end up hitting. Okay, we live, just barely, because we were able to kill this. We're going to kind of need to put something together this turn, basically. Let's rearrange these now. Alright, let's go ahead and roll. Alright, I am going to grab this. So we can cast a random spell. That may end up being better than the Ring of Regeneration at this point. We very well may need to cast the Ride of the Valkyries here. I think I'd rather try to roll and find a targeted spell. This one is pretty good. So I think I'm going to sell the cat, and I'm actually going to buff this one, which makes us less vulnerable to mummies, and gives us a second strong backline effect, similar to this. So I think this is the strongest board that we can present here. Attacking first would certainly be good, which we did not get. And we didn't hit this, so that's really unfortunate. Yeah, not getting the extra shots from the Court Wizard is really going to be problematic here, I think. Yeah, looks like we're dead. That's unfortunate. Not a great start to the game. Potion Master really was very disappointing as a hero there. I think it was good for maybe 10 or 12 actual stats, which is not ideal, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and jot that down here.